Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, welcome to the Vibrations of Vito podcast. I am your host, Vito. This is episode 35. It's 35, what a number. Shout out to Cole Hamels. I don't like Kevin Durant, or unless I would have said, shout out to Kevin Durant, but we don't like him here. Cupcake. I feel great right now. I feel great. Per usual, though, when I get behind this mic and in front of the camera, everything kind of tends to go away. I had a very enjoyable week. I'll get into those events in a few moments. But yeah, I just want to start by saying, if you're watching this video on YouTube and you are not subscribed to the YouTube, please do it. Please, just all you need is a Gmail account and then just press the subscribe button. That would be very appreciated. If you are listening only on Apple and Spotify, boy, do I love you. I love you. I'm grateful for the people that do listen week in and week out. It does mean a lot to me. And I appreciate the support. I hope I continue to be entertaining for you. I feel great right now. I don't really have a message for the week, like anything profound to say. But I will say, stay on task. Stay focused on what's important. I think I've said that before on this show, but I mean that today. Don't get off course. Stay on task. Do what you gotta do. That's all. Nothing crazy to say, you know what I mean? But I do feel great. I feel grateful. It is miserable outside right now. It is pouring rain. Boy, do I wish I was in San Vito lo Capo right now. Shout out to all my family in Italia, specifically Lucia, a big supporter, always talking to her. And it was Maria Rosa's birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday. Buon compleanno. Yeah, folks, I just feel great. Let me get this pour out here, because a dog is thirsty. I'm getting back to my roots here, doing a solo episode. This is where it started. Literally started Dolo. Miss Diener, executive producer, could not be here today. I'm recording rather early because I have to today. It wouldn't work out today, but I needed to do it today at this time. So that's why she's not here. Otherwise, she would be sitting right here. Shout out to you, Dina. Love you. Appreciate you tremendously. But yeah, I love doing these episodes by myself. Not going to lie, because I get to work on my own time. Just so it ain't no mistakes. This is my show. 1, 2, 3, here I go. You know, rest in peace to the dog, D-Max. Here's a pour, folks. Boom. This bottle is brought to you in part by my godson's christening. I'll get into that. But shout out to my sister and my brother-in-law and my 2 nephews, Johnny, a.k.a. Lazy Bones, and Vincenzo. He'll be on this show in a few years. Don't you worry, folks. But enjoy yourselves. I hope you are having a good day when you are listening to this. I hope your Tuesday is magnificent. But if you're listening on any other day of the week, I hope that day specifically is great for you. Because in this moment of time, I feel great. So cheers. Salud. Ooh, I don't remember that tasting like that. What is this? Sauvignon Blanc? Blanc? B-L-A-N-C. Yeah, Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know if I have to say the C, but whatever. It's white wine. We don't discriminate on this show. But let me get into how my week started after my last episode. So shout out to Pat McCarthy for being on episode 34. Those views caught me a little off guard a little bit, which is great. A lot of first day views and second day views still going up. So make sure you tune into that. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to his wife, Stephanie. Shout out to his triplets and the new one on the way. Broke some news here on the Vibration Show, but yeah, let me get into it. So on Saturday, there was a fundraising event. Well, I think that does it justice. Fundraising event for Gifts From Gwyn, and I just got choked up for a second. That is a charitable organization for a good friend of mine who passed away while I was in high school. Rest in peace, Gwen. I love you. I miss you so much, and so does everybody else. She truly impacted everyone's life that she was in. No one ever had anything bad to say about her because she was truly an angel on earth. So that event was a 5K run or a 1 mile walk, and I would have done the 5K run, but my knees, they yell at me a lot these days, and I didn't want to do that to myself. So me and the gang, shout out the squad, except for Dan. Dan ran bars, but Dan did the 5K run, and he finished third. He came late, and he just started running, and then they assumed he finished in third, but he didn't start when everyone else started. Anyway, yeah, we did the walk, and it was it's for a good cause, you know. The organization, they give back to the community. They truly give back to the community. They give back to the homeless. They give back to the people in the community. They give to other charities the money that they do raise in those events. So shout out to the whole Revels family. You guys have a place in my heart forever. They show nothing but love to me when they see me, no matter when it is that they see me. They are fans of the show, actually. So if you guys are watching, I really do love you guys. You guys are awesome. But so the event was great. My sister Phyllis accompanied me on the walk, but also gang was there. Shout out the squad one more time. So we were walking, and it was really good. We did a 1 mile walk. It took us 34 minutes, but it was great. So that started my Saturday off, and then I went and got my hair cut. Shout out to Miguel's Riverside Barbershop. Shout out to Romeo. Shout out to Miguel. Shout out to Angelo. But here's the kicker here. So Uncle Mike, this was Gwen's uncle, and shout out to Joey, fan of the show, his uncle as well. But so Uncle Mike, wait a minute, hold on, before I say that, I gotta take my headphones off, and I gotta show. So this shirt is a new shirt. They usually have purple shirts because purple was her favorite color, but her dad usually wears a black shirt every time we go to these events, so they thought they could compromise, and they do a black shirt with a purple butterfly. Beautiful shirt, but I'm gonna get up and show you the back of the shirt, because this is what it's all about. And that's what it's about. That is literally what it's about. I am here for Gwen. Every day, I am here for Gwen. Gwen, I love you. I miss you. Oh my goodness, I do miss you so much, Gwen. I hope I continue to make you proud. And, I do miss you. But okay, forgot that I wanted to stand up and make that apparent. Let me take a sip of wine. Okay, back to Uncle Mike, folks. Uncle Mike, what a guy. He's a great guy. First and foremost, very funny. I think our energies, they complement each other. But so the following day, I had my godson's christening. Shout out to Vincenzo. And we're in the church, and I look over to my left, and it's Uncle Mike. And Uncle Mike was a godfather the same day that I was a godfather, which is like literally, what are the chances? But that was amazing. So like, I see him, he's looking dapper, I'm looking dapper. I say hello to his wife, say hello to his children, and we're like, yo, what the hell? Like, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, what are the odds? So we took a great picture, and he sent it to his, sent it to his family. Like, look who's here. But that was great. But like literally, I think Gwen pulled those strings. Gwen wanted us to be in that church at the same time, doing the same thing. We were both christening. Well, I don't think that's a proper verbiage because I didn't do the christening. I was the godfather. But we were doing the same thing, and that was great. So shout out to Uncle Mike. Much love to the whole Revels family. Follow Gifts From Gwyn on Facebook and Instagram. That would mean a lot to them, and that would also mean a lot to me. So shout out to everyone, the whole family from Gifts From Gwyn. Love you, Gwen. So the christening. Oh boy, I take a lot of pride in this godfather thing. I take a lot of pride in being an uncle, first and foremost. I love that. My objective is just to have fun with them, and I love that. But this godfather thing, if you really break it down, it's a lot of responsibility. But I love it. I love that status, godfather status. So I had a beautiful maroon suit on. I think I definitely have an obsession with suits. When I went to Italia, I had that pink suit on, and for this christening, I had a maroon suit, white shirt, black tie. I'll put a picture of it right here. Me and my godson Vincenzo. But if you're just listening, I had to paint that picture. You know what I mean? I love looking tip-top. I love looking proper, formal. I love dressing up like that. It's like some real grown-up shit. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like standing out. I do like standing out. Not necessarily like standing out where everyone wants to say something to me, you know what I mean? But I like standing out where, like, if you were just a broadly looking into the crowd of people, and you see this fellow with a pink suit on, and everyone's wearing black or blue, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so I like being told that I look good. I think everybody does, but especially when I'm wearing a suit. So I do love wearing a suit. I do have a new obsession. I have a wedding in December, I think 11th, if I'm correct. My cousin Salvatore is getting married. Shout out to Salvatore and Filomena. I'm looking forward to that. Wait till fellas and ladies, wait till you see how I'm coming there. I have an idea in my head. I didn't purchase anything yet, but I will. I can't wait. But that'll be a lot of fun. Shout out to all of my family in Brooklyn, New York. Can't wait to see you guys. Speaking of my family in Brooklyn, New York, this podcast has received a new sponsor, Lo Duca Pizza in Brooklyn, New York. They are a great place. No bias aside. Yes, we share the same last name, but 100% an amazing pizza place. If you don't believe me, Barstool Sports Dave Portnoy went to this shop and gave it a pizza rating, and he loved it. And you know how he is. A lot of people take his opinion like super serious. So if you don't believe me, type in Barstool Pizza, whatever, how you type in his pizza reviews, but type in Lo Duca Pizza, and it'll come right up. He loved it. He makes pizza. They make pizza very similar to how my dad makes pizza, and that makes sense because it's his brother. Shout out to Zio Pino. What a guy. Shout out to Zio Pino. Real stand-up guy. Don't cross him, though, because there's repercussions. But what a guy. I love him so much. He's a genuine fan of the show. He's got like 1 million kids, and they all work at at Lo Duca Pizza. No, I love every one of them. But seriously, a genuine sponsor of the show, and I need to study this phone number because it's a little new to me, but I'll get it down. Don't you worry. So if you're in the Brooklyn, New York area, you have to check out Lo Duca Pizza, 14 Newkirk Plaza, Brooklyn, New York. The zip code is 11226. The phone number I don't think they do deliveries because I did a prank call the other day just to lighten up their day. And I think he was saying that they don't deliver. So you got to go in there. But the phone number, 718-859-1501. Again, 718-859-1501. Shout out to La Duca Pizza. From straight up and down. Shout out to La Duca Pizza. Shout out to Zio Pino. Shout out to Vito. Shout out to Alessandro, Salvatore, Daniele, Francesco, and Matteo. Everybody. Good people. Real good people. Can't wait to see you guys again. A permanent sponsor of the show. This glass here is for Lo Duca Pizza. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Zio, te voglio bene tanto, tanto. You know how it goes, folks. I stumbled across some questions yesterday. They were called Ever Wonder Why? So like some mind-opening questions, but they also had a funny twist on them. So I'm going to share some here because I think you will feel the same way I felt when I was reading them. Number one, my mind opened up, and I also laughed. So here we go. First one. If a turtle doesn't have a shell, is it homeless? It's a good question. Number two here. This one's a great one. Why aren't hemorrhoids called asteroids? No, seriously though. That was a good one. That was a really good one. Okay. When it rains, why don't sheep shrink? That one's got some like philosophical aspects to it because wool shrinks, correct? When it's wet, I think it expands, but when it dries, it shrinks. So how come sheep don't shrink? You know? Good. They're getting me here. This is for my audience that has children. You might relate to this one. It says, why is it that people say they slept like a baby when babies wake up like every 2 hours? I like that. Oh, this one's a good one. This one might be one of the best ones I saw. It says, why is the number 11 not pronounced 1T1? And that one busted my brain up because think about it, folks. 21, 31, 41, 81, 91, all of them. And then 11 is 11. Why isn't it 1T1? It's a good question. How come we choose just 2 people for president and 50 for Miss America? The answer to that is America. That's why. Because we don't make any sense anymore. But that's a good segue for me to say I am so glad that these elections are done. Because there was nothing worse than these political campaign commercials, advertisements on YouTube. I'm so glad it's done. I'm not a political guy, nor do I have a political stance. I just wish there was somebody in the middle that felt the same way I feel. You know what I mean? Like, just treat everybody with respect and love, and that's it. But no, we gotta do this and we gotta do that and this way and this way. Everybody should make this. Oh God, I'm not getting into it because I don't care. I really don't care. The people who care about politics are a bunch of losers. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Like if you are invested into politics, you need to go somewhere else. There should be an island just for people that really care about that shit. Because I don't care about that shit. But I am just so grateful that it's done. I don't have to see Fetterman and Oz and Shapiro and the other guy. I don't even remember his name. That guy was crazy, though. He said if a woman gets an abortion, she should be charged with murder. Huh? What? Literally, what? Fuck that. He didn't win, though, so good. I'm glad that he didn't win, because he's crazy for that, let alone. And I'm sure he had a lot of other terrible takes. But I'm going to plow ahead here. Let's get back to some funny shit. But I'm glad that the politics shit is done for the time being. I'm sure there'll be another election for something stupid in another 2 months or something. I don't really know. Anyway, it says if they squeeze olives to get olive oil, how do they get baby oil? I like that one. Here's a good one. Why does your nose run and your feet smell? Yeah, they're opening my mind up. Folks, I hope you're wherever you're sitting and watching this, I hope your brain is also churning. I got 2 more here for you. It says, why is it that when you transport something by car, it's called a shipment, but when you transport something by ship, it's called cargo? Golly. That's like a fact, though. That don't make any sense. Why? Why? They also have cargo trains, or maybe they're not called cargo trains. I call them cargo trains. Those really slow, long ones that keep you at the railroad for like 45 minutes. Those are the worst. But yeah, why is it? And I said in the beginning, these were called Ever Wonder Why. I'm wondering why. And here's the last one I'll give to you. It says, why do you park on driveways and drive on parkways? Folks, they got me. They really got me on that one. We literally park in the driveway and we drive on parkways. Why? Park in the parkway. Why don't you? That doesn't sound terrible. Hey, when you get here, park in the parkway. I don't know, folks. I really don't know. Okay, I digress. I hope that turned your brain a little bit. I really enjoyed when I stumbled across that. I was like, "Ooh, this is good pod material," because I was sitting there, I was mind fucked. So I was like, "Let's share with the world." Speaking of the world, I found out that I have an audience in the Philippines. That's great. Shout out to Anchor, because Anchor lets me know where people listen from. And I have a little audience in Ireland. I have a little audience in the Philippines. Obviously in Italy, because my family's there. And then obviously in the United States. But that's crazy. The people all the way on the other side of the world are listening. So if I'm talking to you, I appreciate you. Tell your friends and tell your family. Because that's great. Literally, that's amazing. So shout out to all my Filipino friends. Continue on this journey with me, please and thank you. But I want to make this a point here. I want to stress this, I should say. The importance of taking pictures. I used to be such a live in the moment kind of person. Like this doesn't have to be recorded, or we don't need to take a picture, you know what I mean? Like, live in the moment and know it in the moment, like for yourself. But now I've turned a new leaf, and I'm all about taking pictures, because pictures, there's a quote, pictures say 1,000 words or something. A picture is worth, there it is. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And that is true. So if you go to an event, take pictures. I used to be like, they're going to think something about, we're taking all these pictures. Fuck that. Take those pictures and keep that moment forever. Because, God forbid, you lose your memory or something, you might lose that moment. Someone could show you a picture of you in 2014 or something, doing something with somebody. You know what I mean? That means a lot. It means way more than just keeping that moment in your brain. So I'm all for taking pictures and the importance of pictures, because share those moments. That picture is eternal. You know what I mean? So when I went to that christening, I wanted to take pictures with a lot of people. And I took pictures with a bunch of people. I wanted to take pictures with specific people, specifically La Duca Pizza. We didn't get any pictures together, and they looked good. They had, you know what I mean? They had crisp suits on like I did. They wear a lot of Louis Vuitton and shit like that. Hopefully that sponsorship money comes this way. But I want to, I want to take pictures with people that I care for and care about and have love for. I said that, I forget what episode I said that it had to be when I came back from Italy, but I didn't take any pictures with the people that I spent almost every day with because I was so set on, like, let's live in this moment. I want to live in this moment for what it is, not be on my phone. I want to look at you and appreciate you and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm all for taking pictures. All for taking pictures, sharing that moment forever, because that picture isn't going to go anywhere. So, folks, I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and I want you to take that into your personal life. So take pictures. Don't feel any guilt feel any shame in taking an abundance of pictures because you should, because those moments last forever. So take the pictures, folks. This wine is hitting nice. I like it. It's not my favorite. Or, excuse me. It's not Pinot Grigio, but I like it. Sauvignon Blanc. I'm assuming that the C is silent, but it could be. I have to say it, maybe, but I don't know. But on this show for right now, whatever. I do need to say, oh man. So the timing on last episode was kind of terrible because we recorded before Game 3 of the World Series, and the Phillies ended up winning that game 7-0. But before we recorded, it was 1-1, so we didn't know. We were very optimistic, hopeful that the Phillies would pull through. They did not, as you know. But after that game, boy, was I was like, wow, this is going to be great because they're going to win the World Series. Then this episode is going to come up. Oh, man. But the Phillies, I will say that I'm proud of them. I'm not a big baseball fan. I've said that multiple times on this show. The sport itself is too slow for me. That's all. But playoff baseball is like no other, Every pitch is like low-key, like gets you on the edge of your seat. The Phillies will certainly be back. I imagine that they're just going to increase the talent, get a couple signings. I hope we sign Trey Turner, I think is how you say his name. But he's linked because he used to be teammates of Schwarber and Bryce Harper. So that would be great. He's one of the best shortstops in the league. That would be great. We definitely need more pitching. Like pitching where it's like, because there was a couple games where we were just like, this is a bullpen night. So like this guy's going to play 2 innings. This guy's going to play 2. We need certified starters. We need some studs. We have 2, and I want to say 3 because I like Ranger Suarez. So let's say we got 3. We need 2 more. So go Phillies. I think the city is proud of you because a lot of people didn't expect them to make that run, let alone, like, it was in question that we were even going to make the playoffs. And then they went all the way to the World Series. They were determined, So I'm proud of the Phillies. What's a bummer is that they lost the World Series the same day that the Philadelphia Union lost the MLS championship. I don't watch the MLS at all. I'm a big Inter fan, obviously. European football. I'm going to say football, but you would know it as soccer. Because that's the top level. The best players are European players, and if they're not European, they're South American. So that the level is completely different. If any MLS team played any European team, they get crushed. So that's why I don't watch the MLS. But the Union went to the championship, so I watched that game. I turned the game on in like the 70th minute, and it was 1-1, or it was 2-2. No, it was 1-1. I don't even remember anymore. But it went to overtime. Actually went to a shootout, excuse me. And the Union scored in overtime. So how they do it is, in overtime, you have to play 30 minutes. So you do a 15-minute half, you take a break, and then another 15-minute half. And if it's still tied, then you do a shootout. The Union scored in the 124th minute, if I'm not mistaken. And they added like 7 minutes. So there was a few more minutes left to play. The Union scored, and they acted like they won the game. And I thought they won the game. So I made a tweet like, "Oh, game winner, bringing the championship home, blah blah blah," and Los Angeles went on the other side of the field and scored like within 2 minutes, and they made it 3-3, and then they went to a shootout, and the Union shit the bed. The first guy slipped and just fell on his back and shot the ball straight over the crossbar, and then the next two shooters proceeded to just shit the bed, and terrible placement, no power on any of there was no conviction on any of their attempts, so they missed their first three, and Los Angeles won. So they're the first time in history in sports a city lost 2 championships on the same day. So the Union lost and the Phillies lost on the same day. It was terrible. But hopefully the Phillies will come back with a vengeance. And the Union, I don't know. I don't really know what the deal is. I don't really pay attention because, like I said, I'm a European soccer guy. And speaking of Inter, this will be brief. They played our biggest rivals, Juventus, the day of the christening, and they lost. They shit the bed. We lost 2-0. We had 3 amazing opportunities to score and missed all 3. So that's why we lost, but we came out flat. Came out very flat. Our best player that day was our goalie, and when that happens, you lose. Shout out to Andre Onana. He's been holding down the fort since the day he became starter. I'll stay on this hill. He's one of the best goalies in the whole world, and I'm so glad that he's a part of our team. Moving forward, so yeah, a depleting loss, because my cousin, he's not a second cousin, he might be a third cousin, Giovanni, fan of the show. He is a diehard Juventus fan, and that is the worst thing that anybody could be in this world. So he was very hype, making a scene, screaming, and then they were looking at me. Everyone knows that I care about soccer more than I care about a lot of things. So I was very upset. So like when they scored the first one, they scored a second one. They called it offside or a handball. And when they scored the second one, I had a full glass of wine. I went just like this, folks. And that's where I went from let's have a casual good time to I need to get drunk right now, because I needed to forget about the terrible performance that they put on. But here is the saving grace is the word I was looking for. Here, the phrase I was looking for, excuse me. They followed that up by winning 6-1 against Bologna. And if you were reading that word, it's literally where bologna comes from. So they're a pretty good team. They play hard, let me say that. They don't have a lot of talent on their team, but they play very hard. And that's how it works in Italian soccer. Like those little teams, when they play the big teams, they play their hearts out. So we were losing that game 1-0. I put out a tweet where I said Inter fucking sucks, because I was like so angry. And we proceeded to score 6 straight, which is great. Bars. So we're currently in 5th place, but 2nd and 5th place is all separated by 3 points. So that's one game. So let's say who's in 2nd place, they lose a game, and we win. We are equal points with them, because one win is 3 points. So, I don't see us winning this year, because the team who's in 1st place, Napoli, they are 11 points ahead of us and 8 points ahead of who's in 2nd place, and that's a big deal. That's a lot of points. But you never know. The season, we're only 14 games in. There's a 38-game season, so who knows? But at this moment, we need to find consistency, and just like that. There's no consistency. We have no continuity. We're so defensively, we are in trouble. We've allowed 18 goals, 17 goals, and this stage, that is horrific. We need to lock up better. And oh man. So I'm hopeful. We need to finish in the top 4, because that guarantees a Champions League for the following season. So I am we do have Champions League round of 16 coming up, and we play Porto. They are a team from Portugal. I don't know why I said that like that. Portugal. They're good. Clearly, they made it to the Champions League round of 16, but we should pass. We should beat them and go to the quarterfinals. So I'm hopeful that we make a Champions League run. I do believe in the Champions League run, but in Serie A right now, the Italian league, we are in trouble. We do need to make top 4 though to qualify for the Champions League next year. So Forza Niente, I'll stop the soccer talk there, but I'm going to pour up one more time. It's too early. I can't be drinking this whole bottle. Would I drink this whole bottle? Absolutely. But, let's simmer down here. The day that I'm recording, it is Veterans Day. So I want to say shout out to anyone who has served or is serving in the armed forces anywhere. In the military, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, everyone, the fact that you sacrifice your life, like you really are, like you are putting your life on the line to protect and serve this country, that means a lot. Like literally, that is so noble. Me personally, I could never do that. My anxiety is too high for me to be like, hiding behind a wall and hoping somebody doesn't shoot me. You know what I mean? Like I could never do that. So more power, much respect to anyone who does that or has done that. You are so appreciated. It means the world. It really does, though. So shout out to all the veterans. And today is National Sundae Day, and I'm talking like ice cream sundae. And I'm gonna put you guys on here. This is my favorite kind of sundae, and I would say that maybe it is the best sundae. So vanilla ice cream, because we don't do chocolate ice cream. Chocolate ice cream is so overrated. But let's do vanilla ice cream, crushed Oreos, peanut butter, chunky peanut butter, I should say. Chunky peanut butter, and crushed Oreos. That's literally all you need. That's all you need. And if you're going out and getting it, you're probably going to get some whipped cream, but you don't need it. When you're making it at home, just do the vanilla ice cream, the crushed Oreos, and the chunky peanut butter. And boy, you are going to go on a journey. If you want to get crazy, put some Nutella in there. I've done that from time to time. But Nutella is God's gift to this great world. And when I said great world, I didn't mean that. The world is turning for the worst. But I'm here. You're here. So for the time being, it's great, right? Anyway. So vanilla ice cream, crushed Oreos, and chunky peanut butter. But if you want, put some Nutella in there, call it a day, But that's really all you need. That's one of the best sundaes I can think of. There was also a lunar eclipse earlier this week, which I thought was great. The moon was red. The moon was red, folks, earlier this week. I don't know if you were able to see it, but I wake up rather early when I gotta go to work. So when I went to work, it was red. And this is the shit I don't understand. So I saw it in the kitchen. The shit was red. I went to the bathroom. So let's say, I used the urination station. That takes about like 20, 25 seconds. I come back into the kitchen. The shit was gone. The moon was gone. I was like, huh? Who took the moon away? So I wasn't able to get a picture, but my sister Phyllis, shout out to Phyllis, Dietitian Phyllis on Instagram. You should definitely follow her. She puts out good content. You should definitely go peep that. Dietitian Phyllis. She took a great picture. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put a picture right here of her picture. But the moon was red, and they said that shit is not going to happen again until 2025. So that sounds crazy, but it's 2 years from now, because it's about to be 2023. I feel that, like, that made me, it's, like, kind of crazy. So, like, why that happened, I guess, clearly I'm not an expert, but the moon and the sun were perfectly aligned. So that's why the moon was red, because obviously the sun is a fireball. But yeah, so that shit was cool, but I didn't really get to look at it too much, because I'm telling you, I went to the bathroom and I came back and that shit was gone. So, yeah. So 2025, I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I'm obsessed with space, folks, as you know. Oh, and also, like, that morning, the stars were bright. They were out and about. It was just a good thing to see. I like that kind of shit. Like, when they tell you there's going to be a meteor shower, so, like, on this day, I love that. I witnessed one meteor shower in my life, and I was with my sister Phyllis. We were sitting on the deck of our pool, and it was like 3 a.m., maybe like 2 a.m., and we saw it for a brief moment because it was late, but it was cool though. We stayed up late for a meteor shower. We saw it and went to bed, but it was just that kind of shit interests me a lot. Speaking of just like that kind of stuff, I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true, but I'm gonna say it because who cares? They're trying to take away daylight savings. How the hell? This is, again, I don't know if this is true, but how the hell can you take away daylight savings? You're just gonna tell the sun not to do what it does? I don't really know what that means. But that's when you get an hour of sleep, when you gain an hour of sleep. So they're trying to take away the hour of sleep. They want to make people drowsy and tired and groggy. I don't get that whatsoever. How do you actually take away daylight savings? You stop the clock going back an hour or forward an hour, whatever it is. It's back because you gain an hour. So when it turns 12, it goes to 11. How do you do that? Literally, how do you do that? I have no idea. And I am totally against that. What the hell is that for? Like, literally, what is that? Ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, this world has just been to shit. Everyone has a verified check on Twitter. You can pay $8 a month to be verified on Twitter. That's disturbing. Because you literally spend less to get Apple Music. I have Apple Music. It's like they raised the prices $10.59 a month now. So for less, I can be verified on Twitter and still say the same stupid shit I say. Like, what? I don't understand. And people are so set on, like, that's like a staple to their status, like life status. They're like, oh, I'm verified on Twitter. Like, bro, you just spent $8 a month. Like, I could do that. I just don't want to. There's no point. You know? So that's dumb. Elon really spent like $40 billion to own Twitter when he already like is the most brilliant person in the world. He could have did without Twitter. This is how I feel about Elon. That man is a genius, right? He did SpaceX. He actually started PayPal. I think that was his first thing. Then SpaceX, now obviously Tesla. Like, that's what he's good at. That kind of shit. Why do you want this social media platform where people say anything? And this new Twitter, since he's been around, there's like no censorship at all. So like when someone gets shot and killed, like that, I see it on my timeline. I shouldn't be able to see that on my timeline. I'm on Twitter for jokes and maybe just some current events. Maybe something that happened in Nebraska that I wouldn't know about because I don't live in Nebraska. Other than that, I don't need to see violence. I don't want to see violence. Unbelievable. I don't want to see any of that. But ever since Elon took over, there's like no censorship, and I don't like that. But whatever. I do want to say I want to take this time to say shout out to my dog Isaiah in Seattle. That motherfucker holds it down. He is putting me on all the time. He's always tweeting about the show, promoting the show, supporting the show. I appreciate that. And his homie Markel, honestly, he's my homie because, you know, Markel also supports anything I tweet about the show. Markel retweets. So shout out to Markel. Shout out to Isaiah. Isaiah said that he's planning to come in Philly in the summer, and that'll be great. That'll be the first time we meet, folks. So my friends used to joke that it's like I'm getting catfished or some shit because he's not, you know, whatever. Because I never met him, but I've met him. It's just like virtually. We FaceTimed before. That's my dog for real. He was really, Isaiah's a great dude. I would like to get, when he comes to Philly, if he comes to Philly, I'm definitely going to get him on the show, and he's going to spit a mean 16, because he is an aspiring rapper, and he's got bars for days. And that's, unfortunately, it's not popular in today's world. They want to hear just something catchy and something stupid. But he's got bars. Like, that's the kind of music that I like. I like listening to a message. I like listening to words that rhyme, but like you wouldn't think, you wouldn't put that word with this word. So his wordplay, his metaphors, I fuck with him. So he spits the shit that I want to listen to. So shout out to my homie Isaiah. Real shit. So hopefully he does come in the summer, and I can show him around this piece of shit city. No, it's the city of brotherly love. When you live other places, people want to come to Philly. Shout out to my dog. Dogs for life, But shout out to his mom too. I hope his mom is doing great. And I think it's perfect. It's perfect to point out here, because you usually can't see it because I have a guest that's kind of sitting in front of it. But my friend the octopus here, he's sitting on a stack of books, drinking a cup of coffee while he's reading a book, by the way. And I chose it specifically because I think it's a wonderful piece of art. Whoever did create it, they did a great job. Secondly, it correlates to a lot of me. I'm a big supporter of octopus. I love octopus. That is a very uncommon thing for most people, because they picture what it looks like when it's swimming around, and they're nasty. When you see it like swimming around, they're all, you know what I mean? They got those tentacles, and I get it. But it's a part of my culture, and they taste delicious. Delicious. I love them. Just boil them, put a little bit of lemon, call it a day. Delicious. Calamari's different, folks. It's squid, baby squid. So this is my shit. People have no problem eating calamari, but then if you say veal, they're like, oh no, because it's a baby cow. But like literally, you're eating a baby squid. What's the issue there? No issue for you. Okay. Well, I love eating octopus. Like I said, it's a part of my culture. We are big on octopus, and I love octopus. The creature itself is crazy. They're so smart. One could say they're aliens. They might be, but they live in the ocean, and we've only discovered 5% of the ocean. That is a fact. And that is so scary, because like this world, this planet is like, I might be wrong with this percentage, but I think it's maybe like 80% water, maybe 70% water, and we've only discovered 5%. So maybe the Loch Ness Monster does exist. Maybe the Megalodon shark does exist. We just aren't in the right place at the right time. Who knows? Who knows? But I love octopus. I'm actually obsessed with wildlife. I think this is what I want to end with. I am obsessed with wildlife. I don't want it in my face per se. Like I don't know if I want to see it then happen then and there. But every day is do or die for them. Let me not say that I don't like seeing the wildlife in my face, because I do. But I just want to make sure that I'm out of the danger. Does that make any sense? So I was leaving work the other day, and I was at a stop sign, and as soon as I got to that stop sign, a hawk flew across my car carrying a squirrel. And I was like, huh? What was that? So I stayed at the stop sign because I wanted to see. And this hawk just threw the squirrel, and then, because he had to land, and he threw the squirrel and then landed on the squirrel, and the squirrel was already dead. But then it instantly just started massacring the squirrel. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is every day. Every day for an animal that lives in the wild is literally kill or be killed, which is insane. But in my face, I saw a hawk with a squirrel, lifeless. It was carrying it. It was crazy. Anybody who really knows me, knows that I am a big fan of wildlife. Before I leave this earth, I want to go to Africa and really just see those crazy animals. I'm talking like cheetahs, lions, rhinoceroses, you know what I mean? I want to see them in their natural habitat. I want to see them do what they do, you know? I really want to see a cheetah hunt a gazelle and run 70 miles per hour. I want to see that with my 2 eyes, and that's a thing that I want to do. So I'm starting to hopefully I can manifest that. I know my man Dan, shout out to Dan, he shares the love of wildlife as I do. So we talked about that, so hopefully we can make that a real thing. Maybe sometime in the future, but in the near future, I should say. But yeah, I'm just a big wildlife guy. Any documentary about wildlife, I'm there. Any video about like an eel eating a shark, I'm like, what? And you know what I mean? Like I click. I actually saw a video of a great octopus. It was a giant octopus eating a shark. Caught the shark. Knew that this specific shark has to swim to breathe. Because like if it doesn't move, it loses oxygen. And that octopus just sat in a still position while it was holding it, and then it died and it ate it. I was like, holy shit. So that kind of shit is crazy to me. I'm kind of ranting at this point. But I just know that I'm a big component of wildlife. At one point in my life, I was low-key... I low-key wanted to be a zoologist at one point, but then I looked up at what kind of salary they have, and I was like, well, this is stupid. But I think I would enjoy working with wildlife, but the money's not there. So, but folks, I don't really have much else to say. There is a lot of negative stuff going on in the world right now. Like Brett Favre is fucking stealing from people right and left. Maybe I'll get into that next week, because I'm going to have a special guest here with me next week. Brett Favre, Kyrie Irving saying some stupid shit that I don't even know. I'm not educated enough on what his situation is. I know he was promoting some anti-Semitic stuff on his Instagram, and clearly that's a problem, but I also don't know too much about it, so I don't want to say anything about it until I know something about it. So next week I'll have an opinion on that. Thank goodness that the Halloween season is over. That's what I'll say. It's almost turkey time. Speaking of turkey, at my job this week we had a live turkey. His name was Tom. Tom the turkey came in, and that motherfucker was gobbling, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And I learned that when, they have like that thing dangle on their beak, when he's angry, it stands up. And I was like, my man's is erect. It was crazy. But a turkey, I never felt a turkey a day in my life, but I'm sitting there, I was petting him, and I was like, oh my goodness. Soft, very soft. And I also learned after they left, that every male turkey is named a Tom. So I was like, this is stupid, because I thought this specific turkey's name was Tom. We had these pilgrims come, and I'm going to call them wannabe pilgrims, because they drove a car. I was expecting them to be like in a horse and buggy and some shit. It was in the parking lot, but they drove a car an hour and a half away. They drove an hour and a half to come do a half-hour presentation about their lifestyle, and they just work on a farm. Like, the one dude looks like he was born a pilgrim, and the other guy was just like he was taking up a job. Anyway, it was a little underwhelming. They were saying that they were born in England, and they gave the whole pilgrim speech. And I thought he was talking about them specifically, but whatever. It's Thanksgiving time, almost Christmas time. I can't wait till I start hearing those Christmas songs. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. I can't wait to hear Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? There's no better time than Christmas time. I want to propose a question. When is it too early to start decorating for Christmas and putting Christmas decorations up? That's a good question. I'm not going to give you my answer this week. I'm going to give it to you next week, because I want to bounce off my guest and what that person says. I'm not going to give too much away. But, Yeah, Christmas time's the best time. Can't wait to eat my Thanksgiving turkey. And but I'm just glad that Halloween is over with. So, yeah, I don't have much else to say. I want to say thank you for tuning in to this episode. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Ciao for now.